Internet.
Hey.
Things are a bit different at the moment, as you can tell. This is the new format for the podcast.
Yep, I am out of California. Have been for a couple months now.
And that's going to be, I guess we'll get right into it, for the first segment of this podcast called Show Me Your Moves.
Show me. You did that? You really did that?
I did that. First segment.
Fine.
Yeah, we both moved. Actually, I'm in a different apartment in California, and Booms, you're in Michigan.
I'm back in Michigan.
Yeah. So how was that, driving all the way back?
It was okay.
Yeah.
It went okay. I mean, I guess it went as good as 3 12-hour driving days could really go, but beyond that, it was... I don't think I would do it in 3 days ever again, just because it was... 12 hours of driving is just a lot.
That is a lot, especially to go by yourself. It's crazy.
I wasn't by myself. I had my Greg Giraldo Pandora radio, and it's about the best I had going for me.
Yeah.
Something to keep me laughing the whole way.
Oh, he's a comedian? I don't actually know who he is, so...
Oh, he's a comedian, but I mean, on that Pandora radio, I got comedians like Louis Black, Louis C.K., Jeffrey Ross, a couple of Mitch Hedberg things popped in. Problem with Pandora is that they only have rights to like 10 or so things by different artists, and they're just, I don't know. It's Pandora is another thing that I would just have to say, it's okay.
Yeah. So it was an okay trip with some okay tunes, and just everything was okay. And you're okay. That's the most important part.
Me, I'm fine. I'm as good as I can be for being a poor man.
Yeah, a poor man.
Yeah, sure, a poor man.
A poor man. So here we are. We're on TV heads on top of Josh Kaput's drawings.
When did this happen?
I know, it's kind of weird because we can have 4 arms now. Because we got the arms below and the arms above, and yeah. My move was pretty cool. We just moved like a block north and a block east, and that was it. It's actually kind of nice that you only see the corner of where I'm set up now, because the rest of this place is a bunch of boxes, so it's for the best.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But it's a lot better already because the walls are thicker. In the other place, sometimes I had to like stifle my loudness because of neighbors and things like that, but it's a lot more controlled here, so it'll be good for recording too. So
I remember that. That was always fun to see happen.
Yeah, good times. Like at the end of that most recent Guns of Icarus video, at the end where we did all the flamethrowers and stuff, my neighbor was like pounding on my door at that point, like, calm down, like, quiet down. I was like, dude, we're using flamethrowers.
Dude, you can't stifle yourself when you're destroying blimps with pounds upon pounds of methane or whatever the fuel is.
However they're powered, yeah.
Either way.
But it's fire. Fire!
The guy just needs to learn to fuck off.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he's probably going to torture the next person that moves into your old apartment.
I just hope it's somebody just as weird and quiet as he is, so they both just somehow get along. That's all I hope for.
Maybe that guy will find a little bit of happiness that he can finally sleep at night because he found somebody quieter than him.
So I guess being Crowbar Highfive and a video game channel, we should talk about video games. This is a good transition to our next segment. This segment is called Booms has played a lot of games over Thanksgiving break. Because I moved over Thanksgiving break, and you played a bunch of games, I hear.
Yeah, went out to Kansas City and stayed with Steve, and James was out there as well. We all just spent 3 days drinking beer, eating food, and playing games. So
awesome.
I played a few games that I haven't really done too much of before that, and they also got me. I guess I'll throw up the first game that I was really happy to receive. They got me Hammerwatch. I had wanted that game for a while, and it's super fun. It's really throwbacky to Gauntlet. It's really fun with several players, and it has an unforgiving difficulty, which is awesome and painful at the same time.
Yeah.
But you go into the game, you choose one of 4 classes. I believe it's the Wizard, the Warlock, the Paladin, and the Ranger. You just play through like a dungeon crawl. It's from top-down perspective.
Is there like a single dungeon, or is it like with many floors, or do you actually? Because the one I played is like an alpha or a beta version or something like that, and you were only in like the dungeon area, and you fought just a bunch of different creatures in that dungeon area. But do you actually go to different places?
Yeah, you go to different places. Now, we played this game for like 4 hours, I want to say.
Nice.
And we barely made it to the second floor, or not the floor, dungeon, I guess, or level, because like each level has like several floors, like 2 or 3 floors, I think, and then you get to the boss room.
Yeah.
And then once you beat that boss, you go to the next level.
Okay.
And I don't know how many levels there actually are, but the boss that we faced was more or less a bullet hell, and we actually started to cheese the whole game by all of us playing Rangers. Rangers have infinite range with their basic shots, and then they can plant bombs and stuff, but it's pretty much like range wins in that game.
Okay.
So,
because I know as the wizard, the fireballs would explode at a certain point, right?
Yeah, same thing with the Warlock shots. The Warlocks cast a chain lightning.
I didn't know that.
And
yeah, the Warlock is actually new. I never got to play that one.
Oh, you didn't?
No,
the Warlock
that's
was
new.
actually my favorite class. They
Nice.
use a poison dagger that like you melee and you can back off and let poison damage tick, or they have chain lightning, which consumes their mana pool, and it actually chains to a lot of different people and deals high damage. It's a lot of fun. Like, the Warlock is easily my favorite class.
Sweet.
But just for the sake of progressing in the game, we did the 4 Ranger thing.
That's hilarious.
So anyway, that's Hammerwatch. Fun game. It's unforgiving difficult, but it's a lot of fun with several players, and I was so happy to get that game. It was a great birthday present from Steve.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday earlier that week, huh?
Oh yeah, I just turned 29. 29-year-old, 29 years of failure.
Happy birthday, Booms.
Thanks, man. I mean,
If I high five you this way, it should slap. There's some kind of. There you go.
I tried 3 high fives there. Hopefully that one of that works out.
Well, yeah, one of them worked.
Okay. So, the next one I played, we got Risk of Rain. This is by Chucklefish, the guys that are actually producing Starbound, and I think they had... Oh, they did that Wanderlust game, which we still need to play that.
We do.
And they got another game that they're working on called Stardew Valley, which is like a farming cave exploration simulator. Anyway, Risk of Rain. It's a roguelike brawler, or fighter, I guess, or beat 'em up, whatever you want to call it. You pick a class to play as. You start out with just one, and it's actually a really good class. You are the lone survivor of this crash, the UES Contact Light or something. It's basically a giant cargo ship, gets attacked by some being named Providence, and ship crash lands, all of its cargo goes scattered across this alien planet. You go through all the levels of the alien planet and pretty much survive as waves upon waves of just spawn in and attempt to kick your ass.
Sweet.
The cargo that's scattered is what you collect, and that's basically all the items that you use to power your character up, apart from leveling up your character. They range from anything that like has a persistent effect, has an effect when you level up, or you get use items too. You get items that you can use. Another very difficult game to play. It's the learning curve's insane.
Nice.
I mean, I can't even play it by myself and survive for that long. I mean, I think the farthest I've gotten by myself is the 3rd level. Yeah, and it's crazy.
There's how many levels?
4 levels.
4.
And the average game lasts about. I mean, if you got it done quick, you could probably beat the game in an hour. But I mean, the good thing about that is it has a tremendous amount of replay ability, because no gameplay experience is going to be the same, given that the worlds you go into are different each time. Are
they like procedurally, randomly, whatever generated?
Procedurally, randomly, there's a lot of similar elements to every time you play, but more or less it's going to be a different experience every time you play. Yeah. And then there's also all the different classes you can unlock. I think there's like 10 different classes, and I have maybe like 5 or 6 of them.
How far did you guys make it together, though? Like you said, you only made it to like level 3 with just yourself?
Oh, I've beaten the game 3 times in a group.
Oh, nice.
So, played that. That's awesome.
Sweet.
Then I also got Payday 2. I don't know if you would play the original Payday, right?
A little bit. I feel like we got it last Christmas, and I played it over Christmas, and that was like the only time I ever played it. But it seemed neat.
It was fun. Payday 2 expands on it a little bit. much more level uppy kind of thing, where they have like skill trees, and at the end of like every heist, you get to pick a card, which is a good way to unlock things like new masks, new color schemes, new weapons. It might even just give you a cash boost, which actually cash boosts on that aren't as significant, but the game itself, it takes a minute to get the hang of. I personally like just sat back for a minute while I watched Steve and Luke and Garrett play.
Yeah.
And they did pretty well.
Oh,
and
so you don't have it?
No, I have it.
Oh, you do?
But like I pretty much just sat back in the mission and did
I thought you meant like physically
things.
sat back, but in the mission you're just like watching.
No, in the mission I'm just hanging back, like I'm like just on top of the roof spotting enemies.
Nice.
So that like as they go into this building to heist paintings or something, they see where the enemies are because I'm on top of the roof pointing them out.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's neat. It was a good way to like get my feet wet, I guess to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, the best way to do it is with like, I think it's a great game for LAN parties, and it works well with an organized group. The community, I was informed, is actually pretty helpful. Like if you say, hey, I'm new to this and I don't know how I'm supposed to do this, generally people will be pretty helpful for you. But yeah, other than actually playing the game, it's difficult to describe because there's several different modes of play, and I only played like a couple heists. And then we were just like, all right, well, we're all drunk and it's 4 a.m. Let's go to bed.
Yes.
So
I remember you sent me a text and you're like, we have games. We have a keg. So we're going to drink beer and play games.
Like I said, that's all that really happened for about 3 days, 4 days out there.
That must have been a great little vacation.
It was amazing.
Sweet.
So that's the majority of the games I played out there.
Yeah.
I also played some more Hawken, that mech FPS that we liked.
Did you do I'm meaning to get back to that game. It's freaking sweet. Did you do the whole PvE thing where you fight the waves and waves of mechs, or did you just keep doing deathmatch?
I just kept doing deathmatch. It's about the only thing I really can stand to do by myself, because I at least have the idea of, okay, well, let's just find teammates, stick with teammates. Generally, if I just put myself in a group, I'll do fine, which I do. And then I find people that, for some reason, just want to split off. And it's like, you're going to die. You're going to get yourself killed.
Strength in numbers. It's funny because there's the dude that comes over the thing. He's like, strength in numbers, team. And you're just like, yeah, freaking listen to the computer dude.
It even tells you in the game. It's just like, don't split off. You're going to die.
You gonna die.
But there's also siege mode or assault mode. It's the one where it's like you got to capture energy, feed it to the thing. Whatever. No, you capture energy from the silo or whatever, upload it to your base, and then when you get enough energy, it launches the warship.
Oh, that's right. And you have to like escort the warship to the spot.
The warship just kind of goes off on its own, and what you're trying to do is have control of the anti-air gun. You're trying, or if you launch a warship, you're trying to keep the opposing team from controlling the anti-air gun. And it'll deal damage to the base, and once the base is destroyed, that team wins.
Nice. Yeah,
but I mean, it's just so difficult to do without an organized team, or at least like a few friends that know what they're doing.
Yeah. If everyone's just like running around in their mechs with their heads cut off, they're just like gonna die for sure. They'll just hunt you down. I
find way too many people that just want to sit there and like get kills. And it's like, that's not the point of this mode. You want kills, go play deathmatch. You know, the whole point of this is to like, you know, get your energy, launch the warship, keep the AA gun out of the enemy hands, or if you're defending, get the AA gun.
That's a lot. I mean, it's funny. That's a lot of games, though. It's like, you know, I was playing Tribes, you know, and there's the whole capture the flag thing, and there was like I scored like 3 points to win very quickly because I just like skied my way past everybody, got the flag, and skied back, and then I was like, "Yay! Just capture, capture, capture!" And then it was over.
Yeah,
I was like, that's
funny.
it. People just, if they want to kill, they got to go elsewhere. But I guess it's a part of those objective-based games. But yeah, they get all caught up in it. So
that's more of a utility than anything.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that's the 4 games I played while I was out in Kansas. And apart from that, I've been playing a shitload of the Terraria 1.2 update. I think I logged up to 400 hours total now, and it was at like 275. I think when the update came out, so I've got about another 125 hours under my belt since 1.2.
Gee, that's awesome. I want to play more of that too because our stream was really fun. So we're definitely going to do another one of those.
Yeah, the stream was great, except for you hashtagging every 5 fucking seconds.
I actually got a hashtag from one of our Twitter followers after the fact too.
Like, what did it say? Booms rages.
Yeah, he was like, hang on, I'm gonna pull it up real quick so I don't screw it up. The Axeman 95. He goes, hey, because he wasn't able to make it for the actual stream, but you can watch him on Twitch. Actually, if you guys want to check those out or check that out, it's in the videos for Twitch. Maybe we'll put it in the description or something like that, like we did for the last one, or feature the video. So anyway, the Axeman 95 says, "Great stream, guys. I wish I could have gone with you. Hashtag Booms hates hashtags."
I do.
Which was
I hate fucking hashtags.
It was an actual hashtag during the stream as well.
Which it was.
So, and then hopefully he said next time he can join us, because we did open it up and have the couple people who were on that wanted to play. So they all jumped on the server with us with our airship and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And then another thing that's really awesome is Starbound Beta just came out today.
Yes, we have that.
And
it's sitting loaded, ready to go on my computer. I'm going to play it after we record this.
Nice.
So
I don't know. It seems slower paced to me.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just kind of taking my time and, like, just digging around looking for ore and stuff. And then I'm looking at, like, these... I looked at the Starbound Reddit, the subreddit.
Okay. They already have one going? Wow.
Oh, they've had one going for a while.
Okay. Well, it's Reddit, like this, I guess.
I mean, the second they announced that, a second Tyree was like, hey, I'm breaking off to go to Chucklefish, and I'm making my own game, Starbound.
They're like, Starbound Reddit!
Next thing you know, Starbound subreddit, I got it, I'm a moderator, I made it, yay, go me! Yeah, so, the thing is, like, I looked at a couple screenshots that people had, and they're like, my home, and I'm like, you built a fucking castle already?
Wow.
You're like, the thing that perplexed me was just like, this is my first hour in Starbound. Here's what I've built. And then it's just like this really nice little house built out of a cave and stuff. I'm
wow.
Like, I don't have shit yet. I mean, the only house I have was the one I found when I wandered off and found it was just an abandoned house with a tweed bed in it. That's
pretty sweet. It seems like, separate from, I mean, you hate to compare him all the time, but Terraria, he broke off and made the new game and it's kind of like Terraria inspired and stuff. But like the thing that it has that Terraria doesn't have is random encounters. So like you came upon that village or whatever, and the only time I really got to play it today, a little bit, like for an hour, I ran across this little party of bandits. And like one of them was a sniper, one of them had a huge ass hammer, and I don't even know what the other one had because we killed him. I killed him pretty quickly, but he was also getting attacked by monsters. That's why I say we. So the monsters and I killed him. And each time one of them died, the chick with the hammer was like, "No, so and so died," or like Scar Slash died when the dude. I mean, must have had a sword or something. I don't know. But that freaking sniper was just like, and I'm like dodging, jumping. I'm like, oh god. And then they ended up getting killed by the monsters, and I looted them, and then went back to their camp and stole their camp and campfire. So, but it's just really neat how they have those random encounters. But
yeah, see, I didn't have that. What I found a lot of was me running from creatures because I had been fighting already. Like I kept getting like 5 or 6 monsters all just like fighting me or something, and I would lose like my entire health pool. And I'm like, well, I can't go any further because I got lost all my HP. So I go back and sleep for a minute while it slowly heals back up. Yeah. And then I go back out. Oh, look, 5 more creatures.
Did you get armor yet? Because I think that's the ticket. Because I've just been jumping around without armor and I just die all the time.
Well, yeah, that's probably my problem too, is I have no armor. Yeah. But even still, like, I haven't even been able to get I'm on this quest right now where I got to build a distress beacon. And it requires silver bars, iron bars, copper bars, wood, planks, and something else, I forget, but I need to find all my materials for it. I've just been trying to dig around for that, but even then, it takes a while. I got a stone pickaxe, and
it would be interesting to find out, like, side-by-side comparison of, like, how fast it takes to dig through something in Terraria and how fast it takes in Starbound. Because, like, Terraria, you're digging really fast through some of that stuff, depending on what kind of pick you have. But it's the area that they give you in Starbound, it's really sweet. Like, you can do, like, with that pickaxe, you get 6 blocks. So I'm guessing, like, the higher-end pickaxes, you're just going to drill through terrain.
That'd be cool if you actually get like this really tremendous area with a higher level pickaxe, but the stone pickaxe is actually giving you 9. I don't know if you have a stone pickaxe
9?
or what. Yeah, you can do 9 blocks with it.
Wicked. Okay, maybe I just miscounted.
No, you just like set it inside a like a solid area, you'll see it.
Yeah.
But it's neat so far. I love the music. I am so taken by the soundtrack of Starbound. I love the music so much. It's like, it's relaxing and it's hopeful, and I don't know, something about it just like, I listen to the music and I like imagine going to sleep in a sleeping bag underneath the stars and be like, am I going to be okay? And some voice just like, it's going to be okay.
It's going to be all right. Yeah, it's the music. It's like, you're fine. You're doing great. Yeah, they let you download the whole thing. There's like 60 tracks now up on that thing.
I have it.
You got it?
Yeah,
nice.
I got the 20 regulars and then like was it 40 regulars and then 20 experimental or vice versa?
I don't remember. I didn't actually look at it. I just saw the post that said you could get 60. So I was like, oh, that's awesome. They just give you the whole
Either way,
thing.
there's like a bunch of really good tracks on there, and yes, I love the soundtrack.
It's really cool. So that's the Booms Plays Games segment.
That's Boom's Gaming.
Booms Gaming, because I've been moving all weekend. I haven't got much time to play anything, so looking forward to Starbound. We bought Saints Row 4 this weekend because there was a sweet Black Friday sale, and so we have it in our hands.
There is that you hear that is there's a plan.
There's a plan,
and it involves Saints Row 4.
That's all we can really say.
That's all we want to say at this point.
Because we're gonna finish 3.
That's probably all we have figured out at this point.
We have it all mapped out. It's gonna be great. No, we don't. But because we gotta finish 3 first, and that's just how it's gonna be. But
that's right.
At least we have it, and we got it for really cheap because I want to get to it as soon as we can. So.
Yeah,
and then
we gotta finish up number 3.
And I feel like I've just been downloading all the free Xbox games that hit Xbox Live, because they started doing that 2 free games a month with gold. So there's this one called Iron Brigade by Double Fine, which I want to get into. I played some Clash of Heroes, Might and Magic. That's pretty sweet. It's like a puzzler fighter RPG.
I think you told me about that.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. And that one was free the last month. So play some more of that. I still got to beat Assassin's Creed 3. A lot more gaming to do.
Yeah, I haven't even. God, when I think my Xbox is actually still in the box from when I moved. Like it's still all packed up with all the stuff.
Xboxception because it's in the box.
Yes.
Hashtag Xboxception.
You are so lucky you're in California.
I know, it's bled over. It's bled over from the stream.
I swear, I would drive to your place right now just so I could like.
You can try to fight me through the screen here.
I'll box you through there.
Block. Fisticuffs. Our third segment is a little something that since you moved and since I moved and you're there and I'm here, I want to just kind of compare, because the U.S. is weird because you have the whole span of the country and it's pretty big and there's lots of different places to be, and each one it has their own little subculture. So I thought we would do a little bit of West versus Midwest. That was the exciting segment intro.
You are just so lame. Okay, so let's do this.
Shut the fuck up.
Alright, cool.
So let's do this. Let's talk about East versus West. What do we want to start with?
Okay, let's see. So it pertains to both coasts, both the West Coast and the Mid Coast of the United States. Because technically it's Michigan, so you're surrounded by water and whatever, so it's still a coast. Trust me.
Oh.
Okay, are you ready to play West versus Midwest?
Okay.
All right, here we go. So first of all, pop versus soda.
It's pop, goddammit.
Which is correct. Oh, see, I don't know. I used to be a pop guy. I used to be all about the pop because I lived with you in Michigan. We grew up there, and I don't know. I kind of like soda now.
See, I don't know. I still find myself saying soda now from time to time, but I have gotten so back into the habit of saying pop. It's just like right back to square one.
Yeah, because they have Faygo Red Pop, but then they also have cream soda. So even
Cream
Faygo
soda is a kind of pop.
Is it though? And then if you go, I guess in the U.S., if you go down to like Texas and stuff like that, it's Coke. Everything's Coke until you decide what flavor of Coke you want. I'm like,
sure, it's like, I'll have a Coke. Well, what kind? Regular?
I know, it's like other sodas are available, not just that one.
You mean other pops?
Other Pop sodas. Or soda pop. That's the stupidest one. You can't.
That's just a bullshit
You have to pick a
compromise.
side. You have to pick a side.
You know that's just a bullshit compromise.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Tweet us soda or pop or something. No, don't do that. Never mind. That's going to be weird. All right, we'll move on. Moving on. Next one. Next on the list. Burgers. To change gears. Burgers.
Burgers. Discuss. Well,
because everybody likes burgers. Well, it seems that way in the U.S. And in L.A. there are many, many choices of burger. I feel there are less choices of burger in Michigan because it's mostly fast food and stuff like that.
Depends on what you make of it. For me in Michigan, it's more about the proper bar burger. Like, you got to go to the correct bar and grill to get a decent burger. Whereas in LA, you've got spots that are just burger joints. Like, you got In-N-Out and Tommy's. I really do miss In-N-Out. I kind of miss Tommy's, but at the same time, I got a little Tommy'sed out before long.
Tommy's is we ate Tommy's a lot. It's chili burgers. It's burgers. They just throw chili right on top. It's awesome meat chili.
It's a delicious meaty chili, and
wonderful.
It's just unfortunate that I had so much of it that I was just I don't think I can do this anymore.
Burned yourself out. You're like, guys, I can't go on.
Just a bit, but I mean, I never really got sick of it. I was just okay, I need a Tommy's break, I think.
Yeah, but if you come to LA, if you make your way to LA, go to In-N-Out because it's probably the best burger you'll ever have for your money.
In-N-Out's great.
It's like $2 for a great burger.
Yeah, and then there was the time I decided
other fast food restaurants are available. We're not sponsored by In-N-Out, but still, it's damn good.
It's just good. I mean, there was one time I sat down and destroyed 3 double doubles just because I just wanted In-N-Out.
Because you could.
Because I can.
And you can order it like that. You can do double where that's double cheese, double meat, or you can do 4x4s, which is 4 meat and 4 cheese, and oh my god.
I think that's the max they go. I'm pretty sure the record I've seen, though, is they did a 75 by 75.
And then they're like, no.
No, they actually did it, and the way they showed it off was they had, you got your bun on the end and your top bun, and then they actually set it up in a grease tray that they cleaned out, the stuff that they have on their grill. They pulled that out, cleaned it, and then they put the finished burger in there. Patty cheese, times 75, put the 2 buns on the end of it, and they're like, here you go, fucker.
We're never doing this again.
Yeah, I don't think they would actually do that anymore. I think 4x4 is about the max you can go at In-N-Out.
That's awesome.
Also, burgers out here in the West Coast, I went back to my old state. Sorry, East Coast, or Midwest. Yeah, Midwest. No, it's not a coast. It's the Midwest. I'm just fooling myself. So anyways, I went back to my staple of White Castle.
Yeah, that's something we don't have out here, that's for sure.
Yeah, White Castle's great. It's just my little sliders. I go there, I get 10 cheeseburgers, and I devour them, and then I drive home feeling a little ashamed of myself.
Feeling awesome, but terrible at the same time.
I mean, it was a great idea at the time, and then I wake up the next day, I'm just not necessary, but it was worth it.
Yeah. I just remember the time I was in Michigan, and we went to get White Castle, and we shared a crave case, and then I went immediately to bed. And have you seen that video where the whale is sitting there ready to explode, and all someone does is poke it? That's how my insides felt.
I remember you telling me the story of that.
Because I woke up and I'm like, all right, boom, see you later, dude. And I go to bed. I'm like, oh yeah, that was good food. And then maybe 4 hours later, I'm just wake up and just and just everything wanted to escape at once. So if you eat White Castle, give yourself some freaking time to digest and burp and all that other stuff. I mean,
the same goes with binging on any sort of fast food, I guess.
It's true. I think Tommy's would probably happen, similar, I don't know. But, yeah, I love Tommy's. I'm going to have to go get some soon. But, and I think it definitely... White Castle is, it can be substituted for, things plus sliders, I guess, are they're big in, bar restaurants and stuff like that anyways.
Problem with sliders in bar restaurants though is they're not actually sliders; they're just little mini burgers.
Tiny mini burgers.
A slider is supposed to be nice and thin, and just
made with soy.
Well, not necessarily made with soy, but it has to be thin. Half the time I get a slider at a bar, it just it's a mini burger. It's they took a burger patty and just quartered it and grilled it like that. So you almost get this little. It almost turns into a meatball as it's cooked.
Nice. A meatball.
And it's just from the way meat shrinks when it cooks and condenses. It's like
Yeah.
doesn't fit the whole slider motif. Not for me, anyways.
Yeah. Well, it is what it is, I suppose. So
Yep.
next food, authentic Mex versus Tex-Mex. Mexican food, tacos, burritos, things like that.
It can't be done out here in Michigan. I have not found any taco stands. The best one that I had out in LA was definitely that 7th and Mateo. Like that was the time I
Seriously,
got
go there.
the 10 tacos after I met up with you guys after your practice, and
Yep.
yeah,
You can get it. I mean, they're dollar tacos. They're delicious. They're authentic. They have spicy freaking sauce and onions and loveliness. I mean, you don't.
and
Of
they
course,
taste like a taco should.
yeah, it's authentic. It's real. I mean, I still get a craving for that sour cream and tomato and all that other stuff on top of a burrito and stuff. And it's kind of cool because out here you can kind of do a mix because you have the authenticness of like maybe like a lengua, which is beef tongue. And then you have like your sour cream and stuff like that you can put on it as well at some places. I did that the other night and it was glorious.
Nice.
But, yeah, I'm always curious, like if somebody just went out to Michigan or something like that, Midwest, and opened up like authentic taco stand, would that work?
I think it would have to be in a busy city, like say like Grand Rapids, possibly somewhere in Detroit.
Yeah. I guess we should note that you live in the woods, so
I do live in the middle of nowhere. Like I'm not gonna go up to the end of my driveway and find some guy pushing a fucking taco cart.
that would be awesome.
But
now
like
we have to hire somebody to do
say
that.
like a busy college town like Kalamazoo or Grand Rapids or something like that, where there's like a thriving bar scene, nightlife kind of thing. I imagine a taco cart or a truck or like something like that would do pretty well. But it's a very small spot where it would work.
Can you imagine though, like being in the woods on like all of a sudden down the dirt road comes an ice cream truck, but it's a taco truck.
I just came out of the woods from a hike and there's this guy, have a taco.
There you go. A burrito. We got quesadillas. Shit.
Yes,
That's
please.
the other thing. Taco trucks and trucks in general, food trucks, amazing out here.
Yeah.
How about Chinese food out there? Because I feel like, I mean, there's like a Chinatown here. I think there's a Chinatown in cities in Michigan, right? Or
yeah, you have to go more towards the actual cities to get like authentic China food. Otherwise, all you've got is like the Americanized stuff.
Panda
Express.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got a small restaurant out here in Ortonville. It's called China Fair.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I want to go back there because since moving out here, I've had like real authentic Chinese food, dim sum, things like that, like ham yu, which is like a really scented, or the pungent smelling but delicious tasting fish with ground beef and pork and stuff like that, depending on how you get it. But I want to see like if China Fair is legit, like they have those things back there, you know, and like test it almost.
I'd actually have to look at their menu because I haven't checked it out in a while.
They do some damn good beef and broccoli though.
See, I always get a lemon chicken. It's so simple. It's just breaded, pan-fried chicken, and then a bunch of white rice, and then there's sweet lemon sauce, which is just it's give me my chicken, let me coat it in lemony, sugary shit, and eat it with rice.
I'm getting hungry now.
Yeah, I am too. I need to eat something. Anyways, so if for good Chinese food, you probably got to go towards the cities. Like Ann Arbor's probably got some really good Chinese spots.
Oh, actually, that's true.
Colonel Odessa Cubbage at your service. Damn.
So when you go to the restaurants and you sit down and you have your food, do they automatically split the check for you, or are you forced to do crazy calculations at the end of the meal?
Not sure. I think sometimes they'll ask you, sometimes they'll just give you one big lump check. And
yeah, because California, you have to, at least in my experience, you have to ask, or else it's just coming at one big thing no matter how many people you got.
Generally in restaurant etiquette, the idea is that unless you say anything, they're not going to split the bill.
Yeah.
And you would typically say it before you even start ordering anything.
Right, because I feel like in the Midwest though, I've sat down and then like totally didn't say anything about it. There's like 6 people at the table, like especially for places like Steak and Shake and stuff like that, and or I guess I'm talking about the places, but I can't think of like a nicer restaurant if they did that or not. But yeah, by the end they were all split.
Again, that could just vary place to place.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that was the question, to see if it was like a stark difference or is it just like blah blah blah. Winter's coming. Let's see. Okay, so all right, so we got through food. We made it without leaving. Oh, sorry, one more thing before we finish with food. At fast food restaurants, is there a line? Usually?
I'm trying to
Because
think.
there's always a line in California. There's also like you form multiple lines that may go to the same cash register, or you form one line that goes to multiple, but there's always a line.
Well, it depends on what time of day you go, I guess. Here, sometimes you'll run into a line, sometimes you won't run into a line. Whereas out in California, It doesn't matter what time of day you go, you can probably depend on a line.
At least LA, yeah. And then when you get your order, do they shout out your number, or they like look at you in the eye and say, "Oh, this is yours," because they remember you?
Well, generally, it's not crowded enough for them to shout out an order number. Like,
right.
Say if I were to go, I don't know, to Wendy's or something and get whatever, I'll order my food, pay for it, and then while they're setting it all up, I'll have time to go back and get napkins and a straw for my drink, and then I come back and the order's pretty much all put together, and they're just like, say, "Here you go," and otherwise they'll...
Here you go, Kevin Booms from Michigan. They like know your name.
They know my name as I walk into the place.
They know your family. How's your mom?
I would be scared.
Yeah, that'd be weird.
I would be a little scared.
But here there's a little bit more time to wait, obviously, because there's so many people and they're just scrambling. I give people a lot of credit who work in fast food because it's like, oh my God, I couldn't handle it. It's just too fast. You got to be moving nonstop.
Yeah.
And then they just start yelling orders like 22.
Well, for that,
like, oh shit, I'm 22. Sorry.
For that sort of business, it makes sense though, just because like they have all those orders to get through, and it'd be easy. It's easier just to shout a number than it is to try and shout out,
learn your name.
You got this and this and this, and then the surprise and a shake and 2 Cokes and blah, blah, blah. It's just a number works.
Right.
And if you don't respond to your number, that's your own damn fault, and you should have your food thrown out the window.
I mean, actually, I had a friend one time. He told me the story that he went to McDonald's and they were calling out number 40, and he's just like looking around, and the number 40. He's like, no, they're not. They're like bailed or what? What's going on? Number 40. So he goes, I'm number 40. And he like took the food.
Don't
steal, kids.
I'm sure it wouldn't be difficult to do something in a situation like that.
But it doesn't mean you should do it. Anyway, but yeah, he did it, and he's a criminal. But I think that's funny that he was fine.
He's criminal scum.
Criminal scum mode. He entered criminal scum mode and did that. How about travel? I know 15 miles in Michigan equals 15 minutes. 15 miles here would take like almost 2 hours, 3 hours maybe sometimes, depending on the intense amount of traffic.
Depending on the route and the traffic, yeah. 15
Basically,
miles is going to take a while.
What this segment boils down to is people a lot here, not so many people there.
I live in the middle of nowhere, and it's kind of nice.
Let's see. Time needed is different. How far you got to worry about, like how far you got to go, because some people don't show up to places if you're too far away here. Like, oh, you're all the way up in like Thousand Oaks. Oh, I don't want to go there.
It's like 5 miles. That'll take all day.
It'll take all day.
Whereas we're like, oh, you're 5 miles away. I'll be there in 5 minutes. Because the road is wide
60
open.
Mile. It's wide freaking open. There's no traffic. I'm going to go to Detroit because it's 60 miles away, and it'll take 60 minutes.
More or less.
It's crazy. Let's see. You need special tires for... I was going to ask this, though, because I honestly don't know the answer. Because do you put snow tires on your car in the winter?
No, I just get all seasons. They work fine.
That must be... I mean, I guess I wasn't in the know when I had a car. I guess that's just what it came with in Michigan, and I was just like, okay.
What, you always got snow tires?
Or all purpose, like you said. That must have been it. Because like you hear people get snow tires if they live up north in California, because it gets snowy up there in certain times of the year, and they make you, like, the cops will pull you over and make you put chains on your tires.
See, I've never seen anything like that. That sounds like some crazy state law to me. I mean, the only people I have ever seen that have snow tires are people that live like up in the Upper Peninsula, like in Marquette or Houghton or something like that. Beyond that, no, I get by just fine with all seasons.
Yeah. So that must have been it then, because I'm like, I mean, I haven't gone when it is snowing up there, but I don't have chains. I'm gonna have to buy chains. It's crazy.
California has a lot of crazy like traffic laws. Like some of it makes sense to me, and some of it's just like really mundane. Like, did you know it's a state law down there that if it's raining, you have to have your headlights on?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
I guess I usually just do that anyway, just because people are like, when it rains in Michigan, people just turn on their wipers and they're fine, right? Here they freak the hell out. People forget how to drive completely when there's rain on the ground. Well, I mean, for good reason for a little bit though, because if it hasn't rained in a while, which it doesn't often do here, the road gets really, really slick with oil and just whatever has built up over the time where it hasn't rained. So when it does rain, it like activates all that. So you want to be extra careful. But these people are like, I mean, you can still drive.
If it's drizzling out, you don't need to open up an umbrella.
Or turn on your hazards. Like those dudes like, oh, shit, oh, hazards, oh, God.
I do remember driving down to work there one time, and it was mid-rainy season. Highway traffic was slowing down to about 30 miles per hour, but still moving. Yet, still, I went by about 3 cars that were pulled over, had their emergency flashers on, and they just
freaking.
They're just like, I can't do this. I can't. No, can't do it. No. What is this shit? It's wet. No.
They're like, they have their heads in their hands. They're just crying. Like, can't do it.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, I mean, what it all boils down to there is just there's a lot of excuses here not to go somewhere. And I feel like people in Michigan, or at least in the Midwest of what I've experienced, is, I mean, like, it'll take sometimes a freaking act of nature to not make you or not let you go somewhere.
More or less. I mean, if I'm going to go out, I have to drive somewhere. So it's like if I'm going to the bar, I have to drive at least, I don't know, 15 miles, and I'll be there in 15 minutes.
So you got to go through sleet and snow and all that shit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, generally I try not to go out like that too much during the winter because I just don't like the winter.
That is another thing for sure, because it's freaking cold there. But if you're visiting, like we do now when I go back for Christmas and stuff like that, you really don't need crazy layers of clothing because nobody leaves. It's like a big deal to leave in the winter. Like, so you need like a good sweatshirt and a coat just to survive the trek from your house to a vehicle.
Oh, you mean out in California, like that's the norm, or?
No, I'm saying like this is all in Michigan. Like I mean, like I feel like when we go back to visit, just because we're there for just a limited amount of time, we don't need to bring like a ton of layers. Just like maybe a sweatshirt and a hoodie, or a hoodie and a jacket, just to make it from the car to the place you're going, and then back in, because the heat's just blaring everywhere you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at that point in time.
Yeah. So and then like of course here I put my like heavy coat away in the and I never bring it out ever unless it gets to like. Well, I don't remember ever a time I brought out my big heavy coat here.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're like one of the only exceptions I've ever seen during I guess what it would be considered the winter season down there, when it starts to get down to what, 50 degrees, 40 degrees.
Yeah, like right now it's about 50 degrees out and you need a coat. Yeah.
And that's the cold season. It's funny to me
and rainy. It's rainy.
Whatever. I'm trying to say it's funny to me to see people that are bundled up in like these goose down jackets with winter caps and scarves and everything. They're walking around in 50-degree weather. I walked outside today in my hooded sweatshirt and my t-shirt and a pair of jeans, and it was 50 degrees outside.
That's like my brother. After the long winter, he called me up one time and he's like, "How's it going, man?" I'm like, "Hey, dude." He's like, he's in Michigan, and he's like, I'm like, "What you up to?" He's like, "Well, it's finally reached 40 degrees, so we're barbecuing. We're outside. It's great." Like, oh God, now I mean, of course, living out here in California for as long as I have, my blood started to thin, so it's just I'm a pansy when it comes to being cold now.
Yeah, it'll make a bitch out of you.
Yeah, because it's like I said, 50-ish, and we contemplated turning the heat on. So, because there are heaters.
Man, I don't know. During the cold season down there, when it actually did start to get cold, I put on a hooded sweatshirt. I would actually sleep in a sweatshirt and like bundled up underneath my covers and everything.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just my apartment that I lived in too. I don't know. It got so cold in that apartment.
Yeah. That's another thing though too, is that buildings here have less insulation. because there's not the drastic weather changes. So yeah, if it's hot outside, it's hot inside. If it's cold outside, it's fucking cold inside.
That's probably got a lot to do with it too.
Yeah.
Yay, stucco.
Hooray. But yeah, let's see. So that's excuses not to make it places. But so that's you're going out. What if you're going to a friend's house? Like this is a question I have because do people call ahead or do they just show up? Or do you need like an invite or a Facebook invite or people just stop by?
Generally I would at least like say, hey, can I come over if I'm going to like just invite myself someplace?
Right.
Or it's generally like you make plans. I mean, when it came to just showing up someplace, I think you're the only person whose place I ever showed up to. Just because
really? Okay.
I just knew whenever I would go to your place, I would always be welcome there. I mean, the only other person
another nice moment.
The only other person I could probably do that with right now at this point is my brother, because him and his fiance have their own house and everything.
Yeah, I guess it's different with depending on. So that's not very much dependent on where you live. It's just like your relationships with people. Because like I went to our friend's house in Michigan, and his neighbors would just show up unannounced. You know, they just pop over. Like our house too. Like when I was growing up, our neighbor would just pop over and be like, "Hey, what's up?" Or like you would come by or whoever. And like, but then I guess that translated to LA because you popped over to my apartment unannounced, and it was just like, "Oh, what's up, dude?" You know, it's like kind of normal. So yeah, I guess that's just has to do with the people, not so much the place.
Yeah, I think it's more just on the relationships with the person or the party that you're trying to pop over unannounced to. I mean, beyond that, the norm for me is just like I am already in contact with the person and making plans for the future. Usually it's like I'll talk to a coworker and ask if they want to get a beer after work or something. Or
yeah, this is really. I was just playing with the camera a little bit because my head hole for the TV is right where my fist is right now. So it's like, anyway, sorry.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. Okay, here's the thing that I've wondered. And it might just sound like, again, people are growing up or whatever. But when you go to a friend's house and you bring booze to that friend's house, the night goes on and there's booze left over. What do? Do you leave it or do you take it back with you?
Generally, I leave.
Okay, that must just be a thing because that's how I've experienced too. Is everybody just leaves it, but every once in a while, I feel like my neighbor in Michigan used to bring over like when he brought over like wild turkey whiskey or whatever. He brought like a whole thing of it. And he's like, "Here, try some," and then we all have some. But then there's some left over, and he goes, "Okay, see you," and he like takes it and leaves.
See, it depends on what it is too. For me, like I don't know if I'd leave behind a nearly full fifth of whiskey because I just drink way too much whiskey for me to do that. That's some expensive stuff.
Right. Oh, I guess yeah. Okay. So the money factor and the person factor.
But if it was beer,
because if it's beer, yeah,
beer generally, like I don't know, I usually have no trouble leaving behind. I might like take a couple for me and then leave the rest of it behind. But that's just, I don't know, I usually view that as just like a gesture of, hey, thanks for the hospitality, have some beer.
Yeah, have some beer. And then the next time you go over, it's usually there anyway, and you know, it's a good time.
Sure.
Okay, cool. Just confirming that, because there was a couple times in Michigan where people just took their stuff back, and we're all poor, so that's probably why.
Could very well be.
Oh, do people spend the night? Like, so you go to a friend's house, you have a good night, and so we're gonna, regardless of drinking, if you've drank and you're drunk, you should always stay at that place and try to sober up before you drive. Of course. But say, like, take drinking out of the equation. If you're there, would you spend the night usually, or would you go back to your house?
Generally, I would just go back to my house unless I was invited. And usually, like, for me, spending the night is not just a spur of the moment thing.
Yeah, I guess you need stuff for the next morning, all that good stuff. So I guess it depends on, like, unless you have alcohol or unless you get lucky or
honestly,
whatever.
Dude, you gotta look at it like this too. I mean, I'm already pushing 30 and we're getting pretty late in our 20s. At this point in the time, it's like we sort of make plans for this kind of thing. When we were 19 and 20 and that sort of thing, it's just like, oh, hey, I'm already here and it's already 4 a.m. Why don't I just spend the night and I'll take off tomorrow?
Yeah, I agree, because I don't know, maybe it's the age thing. You get older, you're like, I like my bed. I like to go home.
I really do. I like you. I like you a lot.
Mine's over there, but yeah, because I mean, just you go home, and I think the only reason now would be if I guess in Michigan it would be weather that would keep you.
That could be it too.
Or if so that would be the only difference between the two places. But I guess it's just age. You like your bed, you like your stuff, and you want to go home to it.
I like my things. I like your things too, mostly. But I mean, it's just when it comes to sleeping, just give me my bed.
Yeah, that's just how it's got to be. So now, because I know you've even left pretty freaking late, like a 4 a.m. thing out here. So it's not 19 years old anymore.
It really isn't, and for me, I don't know. There's just nothing like my own space, you know. I'm sure you could attest to that.
All right. Well, for the last part of West, we're gonna do. I'm sorry. This is the last time. I'm sorry. I want to do it again.
Okay, you promise? You
I
fucking promise?
Pinky swear through the thing. It's happening.
Okay.
This little kid, one of my girlfriend's cousins, came up to me and he goes, "Okay, pinky swear, ready? Lock it." And then he goes, and we went thumb to thumb. And he goes, "Stamp it." That's
awesome.
Hilarious. And it tickled me at late 20s, 28 years old, and he's 20 years my junior, and he's like, "Lock it and stamp it." And I was like, I like that. I'm gonna start making business transactions at work, just like, "Hey man, you gonna get that done by Thursday? Lock it, stamp it, or you gotta do it
You
now."
have to be like the most serious as you possibly can in your approach too.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to smile like I just did, but it'd be great.
Lock it, stamp it.
Lock it,
Good.
stamp it. Thanks to Brandon for that one. It's okay to bring it back to games and stuff like that. Playing games and understanding games. Does the place that you're in, does that help you relate to the game at all, or make you be better at a certain game? Because, I don't know. We'll just start there.
What?
Okay, I need to elaborate. Good. Okay, so if you're in the woods, are you better at survival games? Do you get Terraria faster because wood makes bows and you need fern? No.
No.
This is a bit of a stretch.
That's too much of a stretch. I'm sorry.
Okay. Because I haven't played GTA 5 yet, but living in LA, I want to see how, okay, maybe a mission is downtown. I know kind of where downtown is because they basically just photoshopped pieces of LA together to make GTA 5. So I'm wondering if living in the city will help me play GTA 5.
I doubt it.
Okay. That's just a flat out
I think I can safely say it's not going to help you. You're not going to find yourself running from the cops in LA and be able to get away. One, the traffic in GTA 5, I'm sure, is bullshit. There's never going to be a clear road.
Yeah. I saw somebody playing a stream, and I guess when you change characters out of the three, one of them could be stuck in traffic, but then it zooms in, and I guess the game only can load so much traffic, right? LA, there's parking lot traffic sometimes. You can't see the end of it. And this one's 15 cars deep that you can see, and then as it zooms out to join the actual view where you're driving, you're like, oh, this is just a cluster of cars, and now I could drive all around them.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it will never accurately represent LA. For good reason, though. That would suck to have that much traffic in a real
You're playing
game.
Grand Theft Auto, not LA Simulator.
Yeah, god dang. This is the only thing that I could say differ, is the online versus offline type games, because I know some people out in Michigan don't have the best connection, and sometimes, but then again, everyone has cable now. And that's the light that says we've reached our time here tonight on the Crowbar Highfive podcast.
Everybody.
So we're just gonna,
Thanks. Good night, everybody. Good night. We'll see you later.
We're just gonna wrap it up. All right, thanks for joining us, everyone. Tune in next time when we do another one of these, and check out our other videos, which will be on the thing. Oh, if you have something you want to add to West versus Midwest, you can ask us at. Oh, damn it! No, but I didn't do it loudly. That was my promise. That I wouldn't. Oh, you just didn't want me to do it at all.
Stop with the cheesy game show host shit.
Okay, cool. Well, if you want to add to the conversation, that you could go to the Twitter. You can go to the Twitterverse, or you can go to our comment section below. So hit us up on Twitter at Crowbar Highfive, and we will see you guys for the next podcast or video or next time.
Bye.
Bye.